Welcome, comrades, to Truth Talks Today, the people's perspective on the world and your number one news source for the truth. The date is October 16th, 1962. I start off this afternoon's broadcast by making it explicitly clear that the United States, as surprising as it may sound, has in fact not yet started to blockade the independent island nation of Cuba. This station's last broadcast incorrectly stated that this blockade had already begun to directly harm the Cuban people, but comrades, you can all rest easy knowing that no such naval blockade has begun, and our Cuban comrades in the Caribbean remain safely protected by the USSR's missiles. We are fully committed to the truth, and as always, the truth remains that the U.S. does not have the best interests of the Cuban people in mind, but they are protected by the power of our Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Speaking of everyone's favorite country, the good news doesn't stop there. Brothers, sisters, comrades of all ages, we have been granted a special message directly from the official cabinet of the USSR. The cabinet prefaces this message to the people with a reminder to the world that the USSR's actions to give missiles to Cuba was purely a defensive measure to protect our Cuban comrades in the Caribbean who asked for help from the U.S. in 1960 but were denied and invaded. Not cool. This action set a precedent that the U.S. cannot support Cuba's freedom. Very not cool. And this further sets the precedent that the U.S. only supports the freedom of other nations when it is anti-communist, in which case they just want to control these other nations. Dare I say, very, very not cool. And now, without further ado, the message from the ministers, the statement from the Soviets, the glorious moment you have all been waiting for.
To our nation, you might have heard about the situation developing in the Caribbean, but rest assured that the Communist Party is doing everything to ensure peace and safety to our people and our allies all over the world. We're making sure that Cuba and our allies are defended against foreign threats through our defensive support. Do not fear, as the Soviet Union is a strong nation, making sure that the conflict does not prevail in the world.
This has been Sturgeon Morris from Truth Talks Today. Tune in soon to hear the latest people's news.